Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. Today we are going to check out another of these super cool Ricsan Custom Toys figures. And if you know me and my love for certain kaiju over others, you'll know that I completely adore Titanosaurus. So, of course, the obvious choice for my next Ricsan Custom Toys figure would be Titanosaurus. And this figure looks awesome from what I've seen. I'm so excited to break this out of the box. You can see we again have that pretty much again standard look for the box art of the Ricsan Custom Toys figures. You've got that nice shot again of our beautiful Titanosaurus here in the front, and then you can see it looks like we've got maybe more stickers in here like we had the last time. And also up here you can see a different angle again of Titanosaurus with the name over here, and then on the back actually some shots that look so good they almost do look like they are from the film, just again showing you how incredible the figures are here from Ricsan Custom Toys and how incredible their photographer is when it comes to creating these insanely realistic images. So let's go ahead, pop the box open and check it out. So contained within the packaging, again, we have some incredible stickers, and just look at how beautiful these images are. Again, this would be the artist behind this image, and that is perfection when it comes to the Rhedosaurus. And then you again have more with this image, which also looks fantastic. I'm not sure who the artist is that created that one, but still awesome. And just like with their figures usually, we've got a super cool submarine in here, a nice little fun extra that they always include. They always have some kind of, at least it seems like they always have some kind of really cool addition in there, not just the figure itself. And then look at that. Wow, our camera is not going to catch that one perfectly. We got to move that up a little bit. But there is our Titanosaurus, and you want to talk about a dream come true for me. Again, I am such a huge fan of this kaiju. I don't know what it is about this monster. I've always, ever since I had seen Terror of Mechagodzilla, I have always been so in love with this kaiju. And again, now having a really cool, very highly detailed, super articulated version of it is honestly a feeling that is hard to describe. I'm so happy to have this figure here. And if we go nice and close, we take a nice closer look at it. First of all, look at how good that head sculpt looks, and also how crisp the detail looks on the figure. It is extremely well done. We can see the nostrils here. We can also see very impressive skin texture throughout. You've got some nice reddish tones for Titanosaurus here. You can see as you lead up here into basically like the little fin area here on the top of the head and the back of the head of Titanosaurus, you can see again it transitions to a little bit of a yellowish tone, and I think it looks really nice. Very smooth transition to those areas as well. If you take a look at him from the front, oh man, it looks so good. It is absolutely as epic as it gets. You can see the eye has a yellow and then a black and a white spot in there. That also looks really nice. We of course have an articulated jaw, which is currently a little stiff because I have not articulated this at all yet. Again, this is straight out of the packaging. You can see the tongue sculpted out in there, painted with like a purplish tone, and some detail on the inside of the mouth that looks pretty decent. You can also see the teeth are all sculpted individually. They all have a genuine sharp look to them, which is also quite awesome. You have a lighter tone moving along the underside, but they've kind of allowed that lighter tone. Let me go ahead and close the mouth carefully. I don't want to throw it too fast into a closed position. You can see the mouth does close really nicely actually, but you can see they've taken this light tone on the underside and also kind of like spotted it through some of the areas of the figure just to add a little extra variation of color to it, which is pretty cool. But again, that is an absolutely epic looking Titanosaurus head sculpt right there. And as you move down along the back of the head, you will see, of course, all of those very cool kind of like sail-like or fin-like areas moving along the back of Titanosaurus. You'll also see all kinds of really nice skin detail, osteoderms and stuff as you move down through the body. Really vibrant, very impressive detail. Like, look at how good that scale detail looks right there. So nicely done. You also have a very different style to the skin texture of the underside of the neck and throat, and underside in general. You can see again a much lighter tone down here for the underside of Titanosaurus, and again you still see more really impressive skin texture in both areas. You do have tons of articulation moving down the neck. You've got one spot right here which again can move all over the place, can swivel. You've got again the same thing going on over here. I like that they actually give you these kind of like slits basically, so if you really want to make the head go up, you can kind of take the fins here moving along the back and slide them into these little divots, which allows you to again position the head up so much higher. Really good idea, really smart choice on the part of Ricsan Custom Toys, again showing you how good they are at actually designing their figures. But then again you also have another spot right here which can do again all of the same stuff, and then another spot right here, and that allows you to have a really nice posable neck for Titanosaurus. And considering Titanosaurus has a pretty darn big neck, that's really cool, allowing you to again achieve pretty much any and every pose you could possibly want. I'm sure I could get that a little bit better if I line these again fins and stuff up correctly right there, but it could probably go up a little bit higher. But regardless, that neck articulation is fantastic and super smooth. As you continue to move down, you see more when it comes to that kind of like large fin there on the back of Titanosaurus, which again looks really cool. You can also see the skin texture looks really nice in that area. Moving down, the skin texture of the body continues to look fantastic with all of the different scale, detail, and osteoderms and stuff popping up. We have the reddish tone through the majority of the body of Titanosaurus. As we move into the arm, you can see some muscle definition. You can also see some larger, bumpier scales on the back of the arm, finer skin texture as you move up here toward the top of the arm. We have more articulation, of course, forward and back in the arm right there. It can also come out away from the body, so if you want your Titanosaurus to come in for a hug, it can do that. You also have elbow articulation, forward and back, can also swivel, and then wrist articulation, forward and back, can also swivel. And again, that helps to allow you to create pretty much any and every pose you could possibly want for the arms of your Titanosaurus. As you continue to move down, you do have that midsection articulation, which is pretty popular amongst figures like this. You can see forward, back, also swivel, side to side, again allowing you to pretty much create any pose you want in that area as well. As you continue to move down, you have all of the osteoderms and very impressive skin texture leading through. Same deal moving down into the thigh. You can see more of that right there. Again, with some larger, bumpier osteoderms popping up here and there. You have quite the big kneecap for our Titanosaurus. And as you move down into the leg, you can see the skin texture becomes a little bit more fine, but still quite impressive. Also a little bit of a different style skin texture as you lead down there. And then you lead down into the feet. You can see the toes are sculpted beautifully, and again we have that reddish tone the entire way down, but you do have a light tone for the nails, similar to actually the coloration that we had for Varan, again with that light sort of off-white or like light yellowish tone. But as you move back up, you can see leading out into the tail, again, not only do we have a few different areas, 1, 2, 3 different areas of articulation leading out. You can also see, again, we have more fantastic skin texture, more of that reddish tone for the upper part, and then the lighter tone for the underside. And then you also have, again, a super cool fin-like tail out here on the end, and you can also see that transitions to like a brownish, like a yellowish brown for the fin. Another thing that I really like about this figure, if you look at it, is there's a little bit of a satin shine to it, and considering our Titanosaurus is quite the aquatic creature, I like that it has that sort of wet look to it. That's a really cool touch on the part of Ricsan Custom Toys. But obviously when it comes to the articulation, you have the ability to move that tail pretty much anywhere and everywhere you could possibly want, again, which is super cool. And of course you also have the articulation in the legs, forward and back, out away from the body a little bit, which you can see. Again, pretty much any and every pose you could possibly want. You've also got the knee, forward and back, can also swivel, and then the ankle, forward and back, and can also swivel again as well. Like I said, you can pretty much achieve any and every pose you want. You can see the underside of the tail also sports some nice looking scale detail and skin texture. And of course, the opposing side of our Titanosaurus is going to pretty much have the same thing going on that the initial side did, looking absolutely fantastic from both sides. Let me go ahead and get Titanosaurus standing here so we can get a nice size on him. And again, another thing that's always impressive about the Ricsan Custom Toys figures is that they always stand really nicely, and you can see the same case here for our Titanosaurus. Actually, before we go too far, I almost forgot to take a look at the submarine. You can see the submarine as well looks really good when it comes to the sculpt. Absolutely, honestly, perfect when it comes to what I would expect to see, and we're losing focus. You can see the fine detail, honestly, is off the charts on this. You can really get a good look at it right there. Super nice looking. And again, they don't usually ever paint the extras out or anything. The extras are usually unpainted. You see the same thing here for the submarine. My camera just so desperately wants to focus only on Titanosaurus. I get it, camera. I love them too. But we need to focus on this right now. But you can see, again, moving through, it looks awesome and is a perfect addition to Titanosaurus. As far as a size goes, for a length in the position it's in currently, you are looking at about 8 inches or a little over 20 centimeters, maybe closing in at 20 and a half. I think we're going to try to stand him up as tall and as naturally as possible to get a height. So we'll get the tail touching and stand him up nice and tall. You are looking at just shy of 7¼ inches, or again, just shy of around 18½ centimeters. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, Robert Muldoon, and the Collect Day Human Being next to our Titanosaurus from Ricsan Custom Toys. And you can see that he definitely has a really nice size to him, especially with that long neck. Of course, he's got some pretty significant height to him. But for a size comparison that might further help you if you are a kaiju collector, there is our SH Monster Arts Godzilla next to Titanosaurus. And look at how awesome these two look next to each other. They do look really, really cool facing off here against each other. Definitely a really neat set of figures you could use in some really cool displays together. We've also got the Hiya Toys King of the Monsters Godzilla, which is surprising to see that Titanosaurus is so tall he actually goes face to face with that Godzilla. The NECA King of the Monsters Godzilla as well, which is actually a little bit shorter than Titanosaurus. We also have a Playmates Godzilla, just in case you only have Playmates figures in your collection or anything like that, then this should help to give you a good idea of the size as well. We've also got the Bandai Titanosaurus next to the Ricsan Custom Toys Titanosaurus, and talk about an epic visual. These two look so unbelievably cool next to each other. And then one final comparison, we have Varan taking on Titanosaurus, and talk about a battle for the ages. I would love to see this fight, though I honestly would not know who to root for because I love both of these kaiju. But again, showing you that Ricsan Custom Toys continues to make some of the absolute coolest kaiju figures on the planet. So this Ricsan Custom Toys Titanosaurus, the Super Articulated Titanosaurus, is fantastic. And man, I don't know. Lately, these last two figures I reviewed, I don't know which one I would say is my favorite overall, but the two of them have got to be my two favorite to come from Ricsan Custom Toys so far. They are fantastic. But this Titanosaurus, again, just like with Varan, is a dream come true, having a super articulated version of this kaiju. It looks so good in person. The sculpt is fantastic. Very highly detailed. Maybe some of the nicest looking detail that I've seen from Ricsan Custom Toys so far. It perfectly replicates Titanosaurus as far as I can recall. And of course, you also have some nice paintwork as you move through the body. Again, you're not going to get the crazy paintwork that you see on Titanosaurus unless you want to order yours like unpainted and you can paint it yourself. But Titanosaurus actually has kind of a little bit of like an intricate color scheme to him. He's got lots of colors on him and stuff. But this one looks great as far as the reddish colors that we have on it. I think it looks really nice, and again, very smooth transitioning between colors, especially into the colors of the fins, which looks really cool. And I love the fact that there's a nice gloss coat added to it, giving it again that kind of wet look, which is really fun. You have tons of articulation moving through the figure, as you always do when it comes to these incredible Ricsan Custom Toys releases, which is a great thing, allowing you to again achieve pretty much any pose you want and create any diorama you might want. And on top of that, you also have a submarine that is included, which is, again, the perfect addition to this set as always. So if you are interested in picking this up, I will include a link in the description to where you can check out Ricsan Custom Toys on Instagram, inquire further about purchasing on there, or you can email them. I will include the email address to them as well in the description. So make sure you check those links. Definitely pick this figure up and like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.